Hotep. I, the Amen Osiris, the one and only undisputed God of law. We are Deception Stoppers, America's only 4D education service. Thank God I'm not a lawyer. Thank God this is not a law firm. We don't advocate that you don't support your human offspring. We simply advocate that you made him in private, take care of him in private. And today I'm going to show you some more treachery that is used by the 4D unit that operates in the state. As you recall, the 4D program is a partnership between the federal government and the state. A partnership is an association of two or more persons as co-owners of a business for profit. Go to the 4D unit's website in any state and you will find the word customer service. If you do not find the word customer service, it's because they know that I'm exposing them and they have removed it from their public advertisements. Okay. We're coming from, again, NJAC. And one of the lies that the unit perpetrates is that they have a set of what's called ens legis, which you know is creatures of law. They're created by the government or corporation. They are not created by spiritual realm. Okay. So right here under 110.4.1, it says custodial pay rents rights. Okay. Now we know that's a lie because, okay, in Blessing versus Freestone, the Supreme Court for the United States ruled that Title 4D was not intended to benefit individual children and custodial pay rents, and therefore it does not constitute a federal right. So, if that being said, okay, why is the unit that operates in the state telling custodial pay rents that they have rights? On their website, they also tell the custodial pay rent that it has a right to these services. The child has a right to support, and it has a right to these services. Okay. Now, therefore, it does not constitute a federal right, far from creating an individual entitlement to services. 42 U.S.C. 601, there is no entitlement to any services that are funded by the federal government. Thus, the secretary must look to the aggregate services provided by the 4D unit. Now, it says provided by the state. The state does not provide these services. The 4D unit does, and pursuant to its 45 CFR 301.10 plan, all right, it is the instrumentality of the federal Office of Child Support Enforcement, which is within the United States Department of Health and Human Services. All right, it is not a state agency. All right, so the unit. Okay, the secretary must look to the aggregate services provided by the unit, not to whether the needs of any particular person have been satisfied. Title 4D has nothing to do with your human offspring, folks. All right, so just based on the fact that the unit, let me see here. I gotta go back there. There we go. All right. Now the unit is falsifying information. Custodial pay rents don't have rights. As a matter of fact, check this out. Let's share this one. Now, I believe the last video I showed you, taught you on, showed how they issue warrants. All right, but herein lies the problem. When they issue warrants, all right. Now, they have in New Jersey, it's called ELR and expedited ELR hearing procedures. Look up the word procedures under 45 CFR 301.1. It's a set of instructions by the unit that is passed down to the contractual agent here after the court. All right. The purpose of the ELR and expedited ELR hearings, here it is to enforce litigants' rights. Who is the litigant? The 4D, the customer, the applicant is not the litigant. Okay, the litigant is the 4D unit and its contractors. They are the actual litigants, and they still do not have any rights. But if they are referring to the the custodial pay rent, all right, who technically is not the litigant, all right, it has no rights. Blessing versus Freestone, it is clear. All right. Let's go back. Now, custodial parents, we know, do not have a right to services. We also know that children do not have a right to support. Again, gentlemen and ladies, I'm not telling you, we're not advocating not to support your human offspring. I'm just pointing out the fact that what they're saying to you is straight bullshit. Okay? And all you got to do, again, is not reinvent the wheel, but go directly to what they wrote. Now, the key point of reading of what they wrote is you must interpret it the same way that they do. When you interpret it the same way as they do, the way it is written, now, then and only then can you reverse engineer it and use it against them. This is how they are operating. Once you comprehend what is written, right, and the dialogue for how they're operating, then you reverse engineer it and you use it against them. Well, that's not true. Okay, well, then I'll take you up on fraud, because right here it says custodial parents have rights. Now, the custodial parent, if you look at the application for Title 4D services, all right, is identified by a Social Security number, which renders it property. Property has no rights. All right, it is just that simple. Now, this is why I brought you to this video. I just wanted to point that out, okay? And you will notice if you read any statute in any state pertaining to 4D, Title 4D of the Act, all right, you will never see the word man or woman. You will only see the word obligor, obligee, or you will see the word custodial or non-custodial parent. You will see the word children. You will not see the word human offspring. It does not exist. All right? Now, we're going to go down to my favorite. This is too funny. All right. Non-custodial parents' rights, section 4.2. Okay. The non-custodial parent shall be provided easy access to an application for child support services. So there it is, application. Okay. In order for one to be eligible to participate in this federally funded program, you got to fill out an application. If you did not fill out an application, if you did not ask them to assist you with enhancing or doing, assist you with the financial responsibility to your human offspring, then that's officious intermediate. Okay. Now, with timely and appropriate notice of any action that significantly impacts the status of his or her child support case. His or her, it's, okay? Child support case, you didn't apply, there shouldn't be one. The non-custodial parent at his or her request in writing or through the New Jersey Child Support Hotline and by way of New Jersey Child Support website shall be informed of the amount of paid support. These are the rights that they give to child support. Check it out. So you got the right to be provided easy access. You got a right to request in writing. All right. Look, the non-custodial parent has the right to request a review. The non-custodial parent has the right to be notified of administrative complaint procedures. All right. Those are the rights of the non-custodial parent. Do not forget the non-custodial parent is an ens legis. It is created by the state for the state. It is not created by any divine nature. Now, let's go here. As a man, pursuant to any constitution, you have inalienable and inherent rights. Your inherent rights, you are born with them. Okay? You are born with your inherent rights. Now, the simplest way to separate the Genesis 1:26 man, all right, and the ens legis called the non-custodial parent, which pursuant to 45 CFR 42 U.S.C. 666 A3C is positively identified by a Social Security number. Social Security numbers are the property of the Social Security Administration, rendering the non-custodial parent property. And also on top of that, the Social Security Administration and their procedures and policies, you cannot identify a human being by a Social Security number. By them doing that, that is a violation of the 13th Amendment. They don't even have to say your property. You just are. Now, As noted, every state constitution is ecclesiastic. Every oath of office is ecclesiastic. Why? Because it's dealing with what they construe as their God. Case in point, we, the people of the state of New Jersey, are grateful to who? What? Almighty God, for the civil and religious liberty which he hath so long permitted us to enjoy, and looking to him for a blessing upon our endeavors to secure and transmit the same unimpaired to succeeding generations, do ordain and establish this Constitution. This is biblical, gentlemen. It is ecclesiastic. All right. It is canon's law. It is called dogma. All right. Dogma is Catholic canon's law. Okay. It's church law. Okay. Now, in Genesis 1:26, what did God create? God said, let us create man in our image and likeness. Notice us and our means there's more than one. In Genesis 3:22, it says, behold, man has become as one of us, knowing good and evil. Man is the adult male of the human species above the age of puberty that begets young. Okay? It is created by a spiritual entity. The non-custodial pay rent is not. Okay? And I keep telling you guys, yeah, man, I went there and I was told, I claimed my rights, and they'll tell you straight up, we are not here for that. Reason being, because anything dealing with Title 4D only deals with these ens legis, non-custodial pay rent, custodial pay rent, and children. It does not deal with men, women, or human offspring. Okay. Therefore, within the Bible, because the Bible is ecclesiastic and it mentions God in its preamble, all right. When you see the word person in the Constitution, they are talking about men. All right. So what it says is all men are by nature equally free and independent. Okay. And have certain natural and unalienable rights, among which are those of enjoying and defending in life, liberty, and of acquiring, possessing, and protecting property, and pursuing and obtaining safety and happiness. Men. This excludes non-custodial pay rents. Okay. Under Article 2, government is instituted for the protection, security, and benefit, security, and protection of what? The people, men. And as men, you have the right at all times to alter, reform the same whenever public good may require it. Your good is, now public good and private good are two separate things, gentlemen. Okay. Now we're going to go one down. We're going to go to 3. No man, here it is again, no man shall be deprived of the inestimable privilege of worshiping what? Almighty God, the creator of the universe, in a manner agreeable to the dictates of your own conscience. Now, my favorite part, nor under any pretense whatsoever be compelled to attend a place of worship contrary to your faith and judgment. So if you believe in God, then you attending, right? Accepting an invitation to go to a place of worship under 42 U.S.C. 666, all right, that's contrary to your faith and judgment. Okay. The non-custodial pay rent is not a human being. It has no rights. When they nail these documents under diligent efforts protocol, those documents are sent. Let me tell you. Okay, let's go here. Right? You got to pay attention. That's why, when I watch these people, oh yeah, man, you go in there and you challenge jurisdiction. What jurisdiction? If you're there, you agreed that you were a non-custodial pay rent. That's why you're there in the first place. Let's go to this down here. There we go. All right, look, diligent efforts protocol. Okay. Again, this is New Jersey. All right, but every state uses it. Again, probation, child support enforcement is what, folks? It is a subcontractor. Okay. Diligent efforts protocol. The judiciary's. All right, we're just going to go here. All right. The federal. All right, not the state. Personal Responsibility Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act is a comprehensive welfare reform plan includes comprehensive provisions directed to child support enforcement. Okay? Now, PORA establishes a legal presumption. All right? A presumption, gentlemen, what is it? It's mandatory unless rebutted in child support enforcement actions that service has been effected when a notice is mailed and it is shown that diligent efforts were made to identify the address of the party served, which is if diligent efforts are made to confirm what? The obligor's address. Okay? The obligor is not a creature of God. It is a creature of law. So when you accept that mail, you are openly stating that, yes, I am this creature. And then you're going to go in there and say, well, I challenge jurisdiction. We're not here for that. You answered the mail. Gentlemen, I've been teaching this for years. The mail is the first form of jurisdiction. Number one, it places you in a federal revenue district because it has a zip code on it. Yet you have people out here saying, oh, man, yeah, accept the mail, respond. Why? Why would you open somebody else's mail? If that mail is made out to Hugh Hefner and you open it, that's a violation of the law. That mail is made out to an obligor. If you're not an obligor, you ain't got no business opening in that mail. You violated the law. And you just submitted to their jurisdiction. Now you're going to go back and challenge it? Dumbass. All right, be careful of these TikTokers and these YouTube gurus. I'm telling you, folks, you're going to get yourself jacked up. They don't know what they're talking about. Okay? Only one that I know who knows what he's talking about, and I'm going to shout him out again, my man Rick. You, God bless you, man. I wish you. All right, and get up at me because I want to do a collaborate with you. Okay? Now, check this out. Under this protocol, diligent effort requires are satisfied when the obligor's address is searched by ACEs. All right, it's an acronym. I can't remember what it is, but it's federal. All right, with any new address having received verification from the U.S. Postal Service. So they confirm the obligor's address through all these different avenues. Now, fun part. When an obligor does not appear at a hearing and a judge or child support hearing officer is presented with the certification and probation, this subcontractor, represents that the notice sent by regular mail has not been returned, the hearing should proceed as effective service on the obligor has been presumed at that point. The minute you accept that document, gentlemen, that directory from the 4D unit or one of its contractors or subcontractors, you are openly admitting that you are the obligor. The minute you walk in there, you are no longer walking in there as a man. All right? That's why they tell you, we're not here for this. You keep going. But yet these idiots out here keep telling you, yeah, man, go in there and challenge jurisdiction. Yeah, okay, you go right ahead and see how far you get. All right? All these people out there, yeah, man, I beat it by challenging jurisdiction. You shouldn't even been there. Okay? You should not have even been there. Non-custodial payments do not have any rights. There's no rights to due process. All right? There's no rights to not associate. Once you accept that document, you waive every right that is guaranteed under the federal and state constitution. Okay? The 4D agency, gentlemen, is not a state agency. All right? It is a federal agency that operates in the state. The 4D program is operated. Look, Federal Office of Child Support Enforcement. OCSS is the federal agency that oversees the National Child Support Program, but yet they call it the state. It's not a state. Again, we partner with federal and state local governments. Partnership and association of two or more persons as co-owners of as a business for profit. Under the leadership of the Deputy Commissioner Linda Boyle, my favorite, we help child support agencies where in states. It doesn't say we help state child support agencies. All right. Let's see if I got it up here. There we go. All right. The Federal Office of Child Support Enforcement under 42 U.S.C. 652A. All right. Again, right. It is a separate organizational unit, separate, detached and disconnected. The Secretary shall establish within the Department of Health and Human Services, the United States, a detached and disconnected organizational unit under the direction of a designee of the secretary who shall report directly to the secretary. That, my friends, all right, that designee, all right, is this creature right here. Check this out. All right. This creature with this giant growth on her face, that is the secretary of the designee. You see her standing behind that United States flag. Okay. Can you sue her? Yes, you can. But we're going to talk about that at another time. Okay. Now, because the 4D agency is in a contract and under a business plan with the Federal Office of Child Support Enforcement within the United States Department of Human Services, and the United States is pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 3002-15A, is a federal corporation, and the Department of Human Services and the Federal OCSC SS are in fact Section C instrumentalities of this corporation. Corporations, all right, this is a partnership, partnerships, all right, two persons, co-owners of a business profit. You go to their website, Office of Child Support, communicating with our customers, right? Check this out. Our customer service team works with pay rents, okay? It's a partnership. We want our partners, we equip our partners with the latest tools and information to run the 4D program smoothly, all right? And here again, look, we keep customers and partners informed by updating our website frequently with policy changes. Policies aren't law, gentlemen. All right? It's a business for profit. You have the right to not associate with that business for profit, okay? If you did not apply for 4D services, all right, then that's a violation of your First Amendment right to association. Your right to assemble, you have the right to associate, you have the right not to associate. But here's the deal. When you associate as a non-custodial pay rent, all right, you have waived every right that you have. Okay. Now, right here, the unit that operates in New Jersey and the state that you're in also will clearly state that your non-custodial pay rent has rights. Yeah, okay. The rights here to request a hearing, all right, non-custodial pay rents, because they're the creation of the corporation, they don't have rights under the Constitution. Right? That's why you keep getting your ass handed to you, because right, stop listening to these goofballs out here and start studying. Go to their website, use their information, go to their statutes, break down every word, every definition. Get your Black's Law Dictionary. If you don't have one, contact me for a donation. We can give you the 4D library that will assist you in your endeavors. Okay? You must unlearn what you have learned, and you must master the 4D technique. If you master the 4D technique, all that means is the 4D technique, gentlemen, is just their information. All right? It's the same thing that they're using on you, and what you're going to do is we reverse engineer it. So now all you got to do is turn around and use it on them. I am the Alman Osiris. Appreciate you joining me. We'll be back soon with some serious information. All right, if you need help, bang the email. You can get yourself a phone consultation. We all with each phone consultation, we also provide you with the federal manual, all right, and the glossary of common child support terms. If you decide, we also have classes. In this class, we'll provide you with a weapon, all right, that'll be able to start your lawsuit, and we'll also provide you with the full 4D library, and accordingly, a live class with me one-on-one, and we'll show you how to use that weapon and all the inspiration that you need. All right, folks, you have your assignment. Okay, stop letting these people take advantage of you. Stop accepting mail. All right, and take them to court. See, you take them to court, a non-custodial pay rent can't sue them in federal court. Only a man can. That's why if you keep going in here, these invitations to these little business parties, all right, you're walking in here without rights, and they're going to tell you we ain't here for that, and they're going to walk all over you. And not to mention, why would you walk into a place that it's a private business? They got people in there with guns, and you're going to walk in there without yours? Yeah, right. Kiss my ass. All right, folks, you got your assignment. Hotep.